What's good, everybody? So, we got our ass kicked tonight. We did. And here are my takeaways, bro. I'm going off the top, because that's sometimes just the best way to think about this shit. And the reality is that that's a championship team. We want to be a championship team, but we have yet to grow and understand the functions of this new team that we have put together. You can see why Celtics won a championship, though. Let's just start there. You can see why the Celtics won a championship, and the Knicks are really off the pace. Um, First of all, terrible 3-point defense. Obviously, the damn near Boston Celtics set a 3-point record on us, in our first game, and it makes you wonder what the thought process was, because having good wing defenders in OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges, you wouldn't think that shit would happen like that. And we didn't come out with fire. I would have liked us to just be more in sync in defense and understand that assignments are being missed. And it's like Jason Tatum was going off early, and then you have a guy in Jaylen Brown as well. Those guys need to be contained. Honestly, if they were contained earlier, the lead wouldn't have blown out the way it did. And really, you could tell the way we played them, we were finding ourselves over the course of the games. I say about 3 quarters. I don't count the fourth quarter. But the Boston Celtics were already in stride by the first quarter being over. They were hitting on all cylinders. And I don't think the Boston Celtics will be shooting like that the whole season. They're going to be a good 3-point shooting team, but they're not going to be shooting like that. And that brings me to my second point, that although we didn't shoot well, I think that a guy, who was struggling early on, of course, everybody's going to say Bridges, and I'm going to agree with you, because Bridges honestly looked terrible, for about 2 quarters until he started picking it up. There's a guy who's going to be key, man. He's going to be vital. He's going to be very, very important, and he's going to be the one that's going to have to start setting the tone. Now that we play the game, and you'll see what I'm saying over the course of these next couple of games, setting the tone is probably going to be Bridges, not necessarily Brunson, because Brunson is expected to do it. I think there's always a guy on the team in the last couple of years. If he played well, the Knicks likely win. And I think in years past, but if it wasn't Brunson, I think DiVincenzo, who is now gone, was a guy. Quickly in years past, So who's going to be that guy that's not necessarily the point guard, that if he plays well, the Knicks are going to be solid. So between Bridges and OG Anunoby, it's really going to be their decision on how the Knicks start. Third point, we are weak as hell at center. We are weak. I don't know what's going on with the center position, but it's not looking good, man. It's looking ugly. Jericho Sims can't play there. Jericho Sims can't play center. I don't know if you want to put Horporty in there. Look, we know Precious Chu is hurt. It's a big loss, right? Isaiah Hartenstein. But this Jericho Sims at center ain't working, bro. I'm telling you that right now. We're getting no rebounds, offensively or defensively. It's not doing it for us. And we have to find something. We have to find something. And it's Jericho Sims is not the answer. He's lasted on this team a long time. I think maybe like at least 3 years or so now. No, it's not working. It's not working at all. You know what I'm saying? And we need to do something about that, because it's one of the reasons why we got killed tonight. All these offensive rebounds were basically in other 3-point opportunities that we gave the Celtics. You know what I'm saying? Another point. Karl Anthony Towns. I'm not sure what to make of him right now, but I don't know if his style is going to be the way to go at center. And Shaq mentioned this, and I thought it was a good point that Shaq brought up, right? That he moves slow, Karl Anthony Towns. He can score, he can shoot, he can get his bucket, but he moves slow and he's working so hard to get his buckets. I don't think it's efficient at all. He has to speed it up. He has to be faster because since he doesn't move fast, he becomes predictable as he's moving. And it makes us susceptible to so many things. First of all, we're not getting any offensive rebounds by the way he's playing when he's in the paint. It's not happening. It was happening a lot with Josh Hart last year, but now that role is going to be reduced with Cat being there. So these are things that Tibbs will have to figure out. How can you integrate Cat efficiently without really hurting the offensive rebound situation? Because our center is just, he's not a center. I don't think he's a center. Just the way he plays. He plays so slow. And they were putting Drew Holiday on him. You know what I'm saying? Like, they wasn't respecting him. They wasn't respecting what Karl Anthony Towns is bringing. You know what I'm saying? It's obvious that they're not respecting that by doing that type of, you know, move on us. And Karl Anthony Towns is going to have to find a way to really become some type of presence in there because against these physical guys in there, you can already tell that he's not really affecting it much. And yes, he can shoot, and he has like this little hook shot, but that ain't gonna do it. It ain't gonna do it. Another takeaway. I thought I was gonna make him like maybe 5, but like it's just a lot to take in. Miles Bridges looked better towards the end of the game, which I think will signal to me that he will be okay. You know, here's a guy trying to find his shot, and he was getting his shots later in the game. You know, and that to me is a good sign that he started to find his feet, and we should back up. We should back off of him a little bit and give him time to find his shot as the season goes along. It will start to fall. It was falling. You know, it was falling. It wasn't falling early, but it was falling late. Now, a guy who played great was Miles McBride. He had a nice game. I think he had over 20 at least. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta understand the guys who can help us, and that's one thing too. Earlier on, we could have rotated right to the bench, you know, to keep us in the game. Tibbs didn't do it. These first couple of games, I'm gonna cut Tibbs some slack because it's a new team. So you're trying to find what works. What's the starting unit gonna be like? What's the secondary unit gonna be like? Who are the guys who could come in at certain moments? We don't know yet. Kolik off the bench can do it. Cameron Payne sometimes could do it. Miles McBride was doing it. Miles McBride was the only one. He had a great game tonight. And, you know, look for him to come off the bench and provide a spark. We're not going to get killed like this all the time, but we did because before we knew it, the game was already over. And that happens. You know, this is the highest level of basketball. Boston Celtics are very good. And I know Reggie Miller keeps saying we're like the second best team in the NBA. I give us top 5 right now. We'll see where we end up, you know. But Miles McBride, to go back to my McBride point, I thought he played very well. And you're gonna need a guy like McBride when these guys, you know, the other starters hit cold streaks. You know, a guy I didn't mention much today, unrelated to like the takeaways. Well, we can add this as a takeaway. OG Anunoby was surprisingly quiet. I didn't think he'd be as quiet as he was. Usually he hits a couple threes here and there, mid-ranger, getting steals, you know. But once again, all part of team chemistry, you know, team chemistry that was just not there. And that's why, in the end, I think you can't worry too much about this because the team chemistry was just not there yet, right? It was just not there yet. That's the truth. You can say what you want. Like it's common to get beat, you know, early in the season when you're still trying to figure out rotations, assignments, trying to still get a feel for where people are on the court, you know, so that you have that chemistry. And the Knicks are a gritty team, man. Like they're gonna take this one and be like, yeah, we got to be better. You know, the Celtics just won a championship. Like you know, like I'm not that surprised at the result. I'm surprised that we didn't match intensity, but you know what? It's okay. I've watched this team for many, many years have worse lineups and become better over the season. So this lineup for sure is going to be better. And lastly, as I'm watching Minnesota and LA, We won this trade, bro. I'm telling you. Don't not. This is my final takeaway, by the way. Do not let anybody tell you that somehow us trading DiVincenzo and Randall made us worse. We're still we won that trade. I'm telling you, Julius Randle is not the type of guy that was really gonna make us that championship level. We've seen him play for many years. DiVincenzo was a nice piece, but replaceable, and we have the bench unit to prove that, right? So I'm telling you guys, in the end, we still win the trade, and we cannot panic. New Yorkers love to panic as soon as the season's over. No, the season's just beginning. We're gonna have more games we're figuring out. I think once we really figure out the center situation, everything will fall in line. I don't think Cat is that answer, but if Hook Porty can do it, if Precious Achua can do it, it's gonna make a big difference. But those are my takeaways right now. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and I'll see y'all next game, man. Yo, tune in for the streams, by the way. I'm streaming every night. I think we play on Friday again. You know what I'm saying? Tune into the streams, voice your opinion. Do whatever do whatever you want to do. It's Donnie. Peace. I'm out.